on a parenting coach. She's a counseling psychologist. She's a family life counselor. She's a marriage enthusiast. She's a trauma therapist. And there is one song that she sings all the time. It's about healing. She's someone who is particular about healing. And she's a trauma recovery coach. But to cap that all, she's a parenting coach. And that's why today on Talking Moms, we have the privilege of hosting our very dear Patricia Abokede. Welcome to Talking Moms again this week.
Thank you for always having me.
Thank you for coming once again. She's our friend on Talking Moms, though. For those who are conversant with Talking Moms, you would realize that you had seen her a couple of times on the program, particularly when it comes to parenting, when it comes to healing. We usually call on her. It's good to have you again today.
Thank you.
On Talking Moms.
Thank you.
We may not be able to take Buzz Line today because Buzz Line is sweeter when the house is fuller. So we want to go straight to what we've got to talk about today. And because the issue of bad or good parenting is usually back and forth. Some other people believe that the fact that God helped someone to raise their children well may not be that someone else whose children did not turn out well weren't doing their best as well. So that's why this issue of bad parenting, good parenting is kind of dicey. And that's why we arrived at, so if we can't really say, this is good parenting, this is bad parenting, then let's be neutral. Or let's see what would work for everybody. And that's why our topic today on Talking Moms is effective parenting. Yes, the concept of effective parenting. And that's why we have the parenting coach with us today. So, Mrs. Abokede, it's good to have you around once again on Talking Moms today.
Thank you for having me always. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, always excited to have you as well. So, in case you're wondering, so we didn't have moms today. We are both moms, so it's both of us talking today on Talking Moms. Now, let's see what parenting in itself is before we talk about, are there good parents, are there bad parents, and effective way to parent?
Okay, parenting is the process, because it's continuous. In fact, it's not even a continuum, it's a continuous relationship between an adult and a child. So what do I mean by adult and a child? Sometimes it could be biological parenting, it could be foster parenting, but the ability to mentor, to have the younger generation, an offspring or a younger person that you are guiding and mentoring is parenting. So parents provide protection, provide sustainability, food, shelter, clothing, care, anything that makes the child to be safe. So that's the responsibility of a parent. So now parenting is a topic they are debating also now. Who is the parent? Is it the biological parents or the surrogate parents, or that's another topic on its own?
Or the foster parents.
Or foster parents. But more importantly, a parent is somebody, an adult, who is taking care of a younger one with the mind of providing protection and providing livelihood, survival, and making sure that child grows in a healthy and supportive environment.
Now, talking about good or bad parenting, sometimes you see some children, maybe because of the kind of lifestyle, the way they are dressed, or the way they approach adults. In Yoruba culture, we so much respect. We so much love, respect. So sometimes you may feel like some people may say or some other persons who want to break it down. There's a kind of lifestyle that some offspring would have, and people will begin to question the kind of parenting.
Brought them up.
Yes. So can we really say that the way those ones had been handled, or can we say parenting, either good or bad, would reflect on the kind of children that had come out of that parent? Or can we categorically say that someone whose child didn't turn out so well was definitely a bad parent, while those whose children, we feel that those children are doing very well, are the good parents. So the good or bad thing, can we really categorize parenting that way?
Okay. First, I want to shed light on that turning out well. It's a relative word.
Wow.
When you say somebody turned out well, physically, when you are looking at worldly things, when you say somebody turned out well, a person has a good job, has what makes you bling blings, has car, has a house, looking flashy and all of that, that's when you say, oh, somebody turned out well. Most times, generally, that is a relative word, because that somebody is looking flashy, has look like wealthy, look like wealth, does not mean the person is look comfortable. That's the word. Does not mean the person 100% has turned out well.
So turning out well is relative.
The person may look okay, but internally it may not. Now, when it comes to bad parenting and good parenting, of course there are people that are actually not parenting their children well, that they are bad examples to their children, while some are good examples to their children. So what makes somebody looks like a bad parent? Somebody that did not make up their mind, they did not decide, they didn't intentionally take up that role of parenting. Parenting should not be an accident, should not be forced. Sometimes by eventuality, people can become a parent unprepared. Let's say boy-girl relationship, one time stand, you didn't plan it and it happened. Unplanned parents, it can happen. But now when you now have that child, if you really, really want to be a parent, you must intentionally wear that coat of parenting. It's an intentional decision. You shouldn't parent by accident. You shouldn't parent by force. You shouldn't parent by default. It should be an intentional activity. So most times,
no matter how the pregnancy came about,
no matter how, it should be, okay, now I have a child. This child must survive. This child must turn out well. So when you have made up that mind, then you begin to shed your skin, shed your excesses. So there are certain things you don't want to do in front of children. There are certain things you need to do before children. There are certain virtues you must give your child. So it has to be intentional. So you have anger issue. You don't want your child to adopt it. You have to intentionally shed it. Oh, you are promiscuous, in quotes. You live a life of I can have anybody I have. It's my life. I can live it. It's no longer your life. You are now responsible to some people, to your spouse, or at least to the child that you have brought to life. Oh, I'm not rich. Nobody is helping me. My parents are poor. That's no longer an excuse. You now have to intentionally work towards making sure that you make provision for the children you have. So it has to be intentional. You have to wear that coat, be intentional, greatly begin to shed some excesses. Nobody is perfect. There's nobody that was born perfect. Nobody grew up perfect. Even the most richest homes still cry. The rich also cry. But now when it comes to parenting, it's something that you must, when you want to say, oh, I'm a parent, a bad parent, you must now intentionally do things that okay, I have an offspring, I have younger people that are looking up to me, because parenting is modeling, is mentoring by default. You didn't ask for a mentee. The mentee came by because you brought that child to life, or you adopted that child. So you should now give that child blueprints for living right. So that is the role of a parent. Protecting the child from harm, providing shelter, nourishment, emotional support, spiritual support, everything for that child, because those are the things that will form an adult. But when they are lacking in the life of a child, then you see that child begins to become a vulnerable person, who can now be swayed or can be, because when there is no protection, the child becomes vulnerable. Some children that end up becoming what we call wayward, or didn't turn out well, if we want to use that generic word, is because there was a loophole
somewhere.
What makes children turn out well is because there's a safe space. Oh, I'm in danger, I can reach my parents. You have a place to run to, or you have a parent figure, you have somebody you can say, oh, this is my safe space. So that helps children to grow up in a decent and more structured way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so that means we can establish then that if there's this loophole, if something had gone wrong somewhere, if the parent had not been intentional as they should, that's where we see a child and we say maybe it was as a result of bad parenting. This child
that is turning this way. For example, an aggressive child, if you look deep into that child, there's something. When I mean aggressive child, it's not that a child doesn't get angry. Everybody gets angry. Anger is an emotion.
Yes.
But when you say that is excessively angry and always aggressive, there's something that child is trying to communicate to the people around them. All emotions are communication. So a child is aggressive, a child is being whatever, I don't know if you can give me an example, is a communication that there's a loophole, there's a gap. I need attention. I need somebody to speak to me. It doesn't just, no emotion just erupts. There's always it obeys the law of, is it law of motion? Law of cause and effect. Something
law
is
showing and repeat.
It's showing and repeat. Yeah. Something always triggers that emotion, and it could be an internal hurt, internal pain, lack of attention from parents, or parents are showing. For example, there was a child I saw some years back, I can't remember, I think a 7-year-old child or 5-year-old child that is always smoking or drinking a lot of beer or something, because the child, I think it was beer, I think that child can take up to, I can't remember the bottle, it's a long time ago. It can take a whole lot of bottles, more than 2-3 bottles at a time. The child was, I think somebody saw and they did a documentary on that child. Because that child, when the mom was pregnant of that child, the mother was taking alcohol. When the child came to life, the family was alcoholic. So that child automatically started taking alcohol, thinking it is normal. So in that house, it may look normal, but when the child leaves the house, it's no longer normal. So those parents, for example, are bad parents to that child now, because they show the child what they should have controlled.
And it could be harmful.
Yes.
It's potentially harmful to the child. Now, let's see some other ways or some other things that people see in a society like ours to say, okay, now some families, they believe in, okay, let's just sit and talk. We've got case of families who would say, we had never used cane on any of our children before. While in some families, the belief is spare the rod, spare the child. Now, at these dimensions, of discipline, because most of the time when we talk about, okay, raising a child well, good parenting and everything, people will want to talk about, okay, cooking, cooking for lorry, oh man, they will feel, okay, and if you discipline a child well, the child will turn out well. If you are too relaxed on discipline, the child tends to not turn out well. Now, would good or bad parenting be a function of, okay, how much they were scolded or caned, or otherwise, before we move on to what effective parenting actually is?
Okay, when it comes to discipline, I'm lucky to be among the people whose dad didn't really beat that much. My dad is not a beating dad. My dad believed in communication, because he said when he was growing up, his dad was a voracious beater. He beats them, and he beats his wife. He has cane for his wife, have cane for the children. So when he grew up, he was a cook, and he worked with a lot of white people and saw the different way white people parent their children. There was more of communication, there was connection, and he said this should be a better way of parenting, and he adopted that style. So what my dad did was, if there was a reason to beat, he would call a meeting. All of us would sit down, and he would table your offense, and he would say, this is what you did, this is what, can you explain why you did that? Yes. So he made us to think through our actions. Wow. If he needs to beat, he will actually beat, but it will be a conversation. He won't just take the cane and lash you. He will communicate it with you. You first time, maybe we used to negotiate punishment, I can't remember, but it will warn you. It is not the first time, it will be maybe the third time, and it will tell you the first, second time, third time you need to be beaten, and this is the amount of cane I will beat you. Wow. And I will beat you at this part of your body. Wow. For we ladies, it doesn't. So
he was even being intentional about beating.
He would not beat the girls on the body. He said because you will get married one day, he doesn't want you to have scar on your body. Wow. So the girls he will beat on the palm. On the palm. The boys, even all of us, it was intentional. So when he's correcting you, you know why you are being corrected, and you will intentionally not want to do that again, because offending daddy to beat you is a great offense. That means you are done. You have elastic limit has been overstretched. He has given you all the liberty, and do you understand? So what I believe about discipline is connection. That is where many parents are getting it wrong. And it's not their fault, because they also grew up where you may misbehave. In fact, some children would have been beaten before they know why they were being beaten. So a parent came home, had something about the child, did not confirm, just get cane and give like 20 strokes. After beating, the child will not, what did I do? In fact, they will not even give child the opportunity to ask question, and then say, in next time in your life you will not do it again. The child is asking, what did I do? So you didn't correct. There was no correction. There was just punishment. Do you understand? Some people may now say, okay, now I've beaten you. You know what you did? You did this, that. I say, it's not true. I didn't do it. It's a lie. My friend told me. It's not true. That has been beaten. So it's about connection. If you really want to correct your child, connect with that child. Parents should shed that anger of how you were trained, how they maltreated you, and you want to put it on your child. You need to shed that out. You need to, take it off you and reparent yourself. Ask yourself, the times that I was beaten, was it worth it? I just told you, I can say maybe 1 or 2, 3 times my father beat me, and I must have bridged the gap. I must have overstretched the elasticity limit. Do you understand? And it would be intentional. The best my daddy would do. I remember my mommy she used to fry groundnuts in large quantity and supply. Okay. Yeah, groundnuts wasn't popular, not like now. Everybody is frying groundnuts. You used to supply the seminarians. If supply in big, quantities. So I used to eat groundnuts. My life depends on it. Now, one of the way my daddy coped that was that he said, okay, you see this groundnut, because my dad was a civil servant. Then they used to owe civil servants 6 months salary, those kind of rubbish.
So mama was the one carrying the house.
Sometimes, yes. So mommy would have, run the house, and daddy will now repay after he gets salary, maybe after 3 months of owing and all of that. So daddy will now say, okay, this groundnut business is what we are using to sustain the house. You guys are business. So me, that was the chief groundnut eater. He made me the of groundnut merchandise.
Okay, accountability.
Accountability, yes. That's it. So what he did was, everything that has pockets that I have, skirt, trouser, knicker, gown, he removed all the pockets and blocked it and said, okay, this groundnut, my madam, so what is the potential profit of this groundnut? Okay, this is the potential. Okay, so parts, you are in charge of the groundnut. So for the people who will peel it, you be the ones to give it to them. For the people who will fix, everything, I became the oga of the so I was one
Chief
don't
groundnut
eat the
merchandise.
groundnut, so you're eating too much. I was the one making sure that I was monitoring everybody.
He gave you responsibility.
Yes, so I was he gave it wasn't I was caning me. He showed me how to be accountable to profit. Growing up, I realized that I asked myself a question: why do children steal? I want parents to listen to this. Why do children steal? I remember when we were small, those days, milk. I don't want to mention particular milk. There was one popular one. It was in tin. They will open it.
Very thick one.
Yes, they will now cover.
Condensed milk.
Use the paper to cover it. Put it in the freezer. We will now go and be stealing it, sipping it. They will buy drink for visitors. So when the drink is only for occasion, it wasn't free. So what happened? We went to the opportunity to think we'll go and steal it because it was special. So what did I do when I was going? I don't want my children to have that habit. What did I do? I made food available. Anything that is not available is what is special. If you say, why did Adam go and eat the apple? There are so many fruits in the garden. But there was a specific instruction. This particular one, don't eat it. That means that particular one is so very, very special. What is inside that? What makes it special? So because there is a caveat, there's a caveat, the child will want to experiment. So I said, okay, instead of me to hoard food like many parents do, cook. The food is on the kitchen, very valuable for everybody. When you are finished eating your food and you are hungry, go and take food.
Take more.
So at the age of 7, I allow my children to, once I remove what everybody is, I've served you. Anytime you are hungry, go and take the food. Whatever I don't want you to touch, I put in the freezer. But that there's no food in the house, no. That those days we will be cooking when mommy goes out. We will cook, quickly cook. But before she comes back, we wash the pot. I don't know if you did it. Those kind of food were sweet.
Did you have luxury of cooking like that?
We will cook, we will hide it. But when she come, we would have washed the pot and all of that.
But what I knew we had was plenty of garri in the house. So you are free to take garri anyhow.
Garri for us then wasn't. It was like you are suffering.
That's why it's very accessible. Mind you, both of my parents were teachers, and you know how teachers were treated.
Yes. So when daddy or mom, they are not around, we will hide, cook. Even some of my siblings will cook in the middle of the night because the food was not always available. It's not as if there was no food, but it was hoarded.
Yes, because it's
so.
They have looked at their pockets.
Yeah, I understand.
This is what can sustain us for the month.
But at the same time, if you train your children to see that food is not a special thing, it won't mean anything to them.
Yes, actually.
It won't mean.
And for other things that seem luxurious, maybe drinks.
Yeah.
Salary, buy.
You make it
so
available.
It not be as if it's something so special.
You now buy. So it's if it's not that should drink.
Enjoy.
We are nobody. So it's when you make things, you don't put too much. It's called there's a people called in psychology flooding. As in you make it available. Nobody will. It won't make sense for me to go and see what is already available
to me. But wait. I will have just go on a short break now, but very quickly, what about families where they don't have the luxury of making this provision in abundance?
There's still a way to do it. There's still what I'm trying to say is that if there is no food, we all know there is no food. Even where there is luxury, it's not available all the time. If there is no food, if all of us are managing and the parents are transparent, do you understand me? The children will understand. Children have reasoning. They will know that there is no food. So it's not that there is food. The food is now in mommy's room, locked up. Do you get what I'm saying? Yes, so whether there is scarcity or there is abundance, if you nurture you raise them with the knowledge of what is happening in the home, the children will understand with you. That I know very well. There are times in my home that there is no meat. The children will not. My children will never complain.
Yes.
You will serve them the food. They will eat it with all joy.
Yes.
And when there's meat, they will eat it. So it's not that it's only for daddy and mommy, or it's locked up. And then, in fact, those days they will even have key for the freezer. I don't even know where my freezer
So
freezer
more like they are the ones indirectly teaching the children
how to exactly. So then I debunked that when I was going to get married. That I don't hold anything in my home. Do you understand?
Now we will go to effective ways to parent. Now, I'm sure that we've been mentioning some of them as we had started talking. Well, in case you're just joining us, you're listening to Talking Moms on Diamond 101.2 FM, University of Ibadan. And today we have the privilege of having a parenting coach, a counseling psychologist, a trauma recovery coach, Mrs. Patricia Abokede. And today we're talking about effective parenting because we're still on the parenting series. So let's go on a short music break. And when we return, we'll talk extensively about what effective parenting itself is. Stay with us.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll be like, okay, because let me check this out.
It's when you make special of something.
Because I realized that how I am a cheap one, because
it was not that.
In rest, because yes, it was a result. Let's pick it out, use it for the pictures I want to. So I
thank you.
I saw that sometimes if I don't give them instructions, they feel it's one that instructions should take note of fish. Sometimes if you see the way she to bash one upon the
no, didn't tell us to take it. But nígbà tí tó bá kó wá scarce, wọ́n máa jí. Because they know
what to come on, to be able to put something for you,
maybe at that time they know that maybe things are not so smooth and maybe you are managing. They will understand with you because you have carried them along.
Take it in jail. I know left it to say, we do not know. It's not easy to very hard to worry. But I want to go to
Never will let someone think jolly. Never will let someone think jolly. Wọ́n fi kán dùn àwọn yẹn. Wọ́n fi kán dùn. Wọ́n máa fẹ́ kí ló wà nù kí ni wọ́n fẹ́ lọ ṣe.
But now, apart from the okay, what about relationships, for instance? Okay, you don't have boyfriend, you have girlfriend, there's nothing sexual, you should abstain from anything sexual, it was once again, and inquisitiveness want to make them do stuff. So when you make things available,
that one is more, that one is, sexual relationship is a desire. Even stealing is only new one. So there is an instinct of wanting to do it. So your role as a parent is to teach them that this particular part of your life you have to wait for it. Only you will do it though. And you don't make sense look like it's a sin. It's not a sin. It's not a sin if you do it right. You will do it, but you have to wait to win. I don't know the word to use. You have to wait to have the right to do it. But what most people do is sex is a sin. Don't go in. Don't share. They will not even tell them that there will be a time you will do it. So many girls that grow up in a very strict Christian marriage, homes, but then they get married, it becomes an issue because it's been in their subconscious that sex is a sin. That they didn't debunk it before they enter marriage.
That's what those who now at least hold themselves till they get married. No matter what kind of child, this thing is a two-way thing. Now, when you were talking about that, I related. But she raised one, but he was intentional. It's usually two-way thing. They okay, but when she was taking. Do you know that someone else that was raised in that same home, and when they get back to almost one was,
like I said,
he just decided it's a person peculiar thing. So some other children, see, one raising very strict on men.
That's one on emotion. That's what I'm saying. When you hold it, sex education should teach that sex is real. It's normal for adolescents, not for children, not babies. Now, at this your level now, your emotion is desiring it, but it's not yet time. There's a time you will have the freedom. There's a time you will have authority to have it anytime you want it. You let them wait for you, give them the desire that I will have it but it's not yet time.
Intentionalizing the parents.
Communication, yes. So if they know that this particular instinct is you are normal, it's good to have that instinct. It means that you are normal. You are a normal child to have it. But wait, because if you don't wait, what are the consequences? Can you manage it? Once you know that you that you are with me is sex that brought you, I'm taking care of you. Can you take care of another child now? Do you understand? So it's not saying you are taking it away from them. Don't do it though. If you do it, you'll be in trouble. If you do it at the wrong time, you'll be in trouble. But if you do it at the right time, you will enjoy it. So you didn't hold it from them. You gave them the ability to make that choice. But I will wait. So that's the.
We appreciate you very much. We say thank you for staying with us on Talking Moms. Yeah, it's still Talking Moms on Diamond 101 FM. That was music of High Mo, something about mother. And we still have Mrs. Patricia Abokede with us on Talking Moms today. We're still discussing effective parenting. Before we went on that break, we talked about what parenting in itself is. Why are some parents tagged good parents, bad parents, and what are those things that could determine how the child would turn out? Maybe some way the child had been raised or handled, and what that can potentially cause. So we discussed that before we went on that break, and now we want to really talk about effective parenting in itself. So Mrs. Abokede, thank you once again for being here. Because of our time, let's see what effective parenting is. Now, we've talked about, before we went on the break, we talked about a particular reference was made to stealing, because these are some of the things that actually give parents headache. You know, some children would even go out of their way not to just steal at home, to steal elsewhere. You know, because some children will even steal stuff at home. We call it stealing. I think there's a milder English word. Some are cautious enough to say, Ilioli, no, you know, but if it's my mommy's pot, you know, or my mommy's purse, I can take it, but outside, no, I can't do that, you know. But some are even so engrossed that even outside, they still steal. And she had made us understand the fact that it's in such environments where things are hoarded that children tend to steal. She's not saying that 100% that's what happens, you know.
It's just one of the very
common reasons children steal. Because of our time, I would have asked that, okay, so why do children lie? Because of our time, let's look at effective parenting in itself.
Okay, so effective parenting is a parenting style where you, like I said earlier, intentionally make the environment safe for the child, communicate effectively. There's open communication. There's trust. You are consistent with your discipline. You are not changing. Today you are harsh, tomorrow you are this, you know. Some people will say, okay, if you do this today, there's a punishment. Tomorrow you are changing terms and condition. You know, you are intentional in your decision making. You carry the children along.
Okay.
You create a safe environment, and basically you are just like that word, intentional. You are intentional in your doings, not just doing it anyhow.
You take it as this is my job.
Yes. The way the way we handle the job we are paid for. We don't want to be sacked. We don't want to be labeled. You also take up a parenting role. Is a role you have to take up. I don't know how to explain it. You have to be intentional. You have to wear the consciousness that I'm raising children. I'm raising nations. Not even children, they are nations, because out of them are more generations that are coming.
You're raising destinies.
Destinies. You are raising somebody's husband, somebody's wife, somebody's boss, somebody's colleague at work, somebody's neighbor, a state governor, a president. Those are the people you are raising. They are not just children that will not grow up. So if you have that consciousness that these children, their destinies are in my hands, you will be conscious of what you are doing around them. So making the environment safe, giving them the ability to have sanity, to feel safe around you, and you have open communication, is effective parenting. I don't know how best I can explain it, but that is just what it means. Being intentional, being conscious in your attitude, in your relationship, in your output, in how you communicate with your children, how you talk, how you relate with them. Showing them respect. When you talk about respect, when we talk about respect in this part of the world, we think respect is just for adults. No, even children should be respected. Listening to them, not just being a dictator parent. Give your children room to express themselves. It's not indulging them. That's another thing. That's what we are trying to say the other time. It's not indulging bad habits or celebrating evil. No. That's not it. When we talk about discipline, is correcting with love, with open communication. Not okay, child misbehave, you just bring cane, start beating. We have got it wrong in that area. And not you is your child, you decide what you want to do, but of course, even when you have to beat, why do you have to do it? Of what reason? They just launched this video of Michael Jackson, and I was watching the movie, and I saw the way the father raised him. Especially, the father actually have a lot of passion. In his own way, he sold that dream to him. So the making of Michael Jackson is part of his father's efforts, truthfully. But the way he was pouring his anger, probably he failed, the father, and he's trying to see his success in his children. The way he was pouring his anger on Michael Jackson especially, puts a lot of self-esteem on him. Such that when he grew up and he felt, I'm now an adult, I can do things by myself. That was his only word. I'm now an adult, I can do it myself, I can make decisions on my own, because he never was allowed to express himself. He was never, if you watch that movie, he was never, even if they go for a performance and they did well, there was no well done. You go back on stage and go and rehearse. Failure is either you fail or you succeed. That was, it was too harsh. So when he was successful, what he was looking was what to pay back. If he even sacked his father. He sacked his father.
The best revenge is success.
Yes. So as soon as he was successful, he was trying to make up for all the things he couldn't do. That was why I said loving children, doing a lot of things, because he lacked those things. He was successful outwardly, which what I said earlier.
Yes.
Outwardly.
Turning out well is relative.
Yes, it's relative. Outwardly he was successful, but deep down inside of him, he was not a real human. He was making friends with animals, not human beings.
And that's what childhood trauma can cause.
Yes. So it's been intentional, understanding that I'm modeling this life. These children, though it's my responsibility to model them, you are the primary source of modeling to them. But you are going to launch them out to the world. And because you are going to launch the children out, you must do your best to make sure they turn out well.
So the modeling that we are doing for them is not that we are modeling them for ourselves.
They are not your property. They don't belong to you. The only thing is that when you are now old, the game will change. You will now be dependent on them. And they will now be the one in the authority. But at that time, they don't belong to you any longer. They are somewhere else. So if there was no strong relationship, I'm using Michael Jackson because I'm studying his lifestyle, because I told myself this guy's life deserves to be studied when it comes to parenting, success, goal setting, because he was very successful. He set goals and he met all his goals, but deep down he was dying. And it has affected the choices he made that ruined his reputation.
Now, I would like you to, in 2 minutes, touch on how parenting can contribute to childhood trauma, and how childhood trauma in turn can even affect children into adulthood. Having you as a trauma recovery person and child protection advocate here today.
All right. When we parent in a very negative way, we're talking about bad parenting, good parenting, effective parenting. Honestly, no parent really wants to parent in a bad way. Every parent loves their children. So it now depends on how you are doing. Either you are indulging the child, you are overdoing it because you want to discipline, or you are not even paying attention at something. That's why some parents are laissez-faire. Child, I don't want to hurt them more. Let them shall be doing their own. That depends on how you do it. But what the thing is, what did you ask? Let me not miss the question. Childhood trauma, yes. Now the way we now handle our children when we do it negatively. For example, I'm using somebody's example, Michael Jackson. The father was selling success to him, but it was selling it in a very harsh way. So the boy was traumatized. Even though the physical effects or because he didn't even allow him to be with any child. He didn't play with children. So the boy was thinking success, but was dying of him. So he was traumatized. So as soon as he got to the level of decision making, he wanted to get everything he didn't have as a child. So when we parent in a very bad way, we traumatize children. And what is the effect when you now grow up? Because you didn't have a proper upbringing, you were traumatized. So many people grew up with pain, with scars of unhealed trauma. Indirectly, they'll be inventing their anger on their children. So you see a parent who probably, because of the effect of his or her own parents on him, he felt, if my parents have done it. Let me take, for example, a child that was forced to do a particular course. That is a very common big this thing in the area, and the child didn't do so well or was successful physically, but internally is not happy. It may now be putting that anger on his child. Or you now say, okay, my parents did not allow me to do the course I want to do. You go and do your own, no guidance. Do you understand? So we have to, as a parent, we heal. When you want to step into that parenting shoe, even before you step into the parenting shoe, when you make up your mind that as you are a human being, you don't have to weigh, I want to marry or I don't want to marry. But let's say, okay, because you are going to invite somebody else into your life, be intentional about healing.
Heal from childhood trauma.
Because many lives has been destroyed. Spouse, parenting, because of your own childhood experience, you destroy another person's. I wonder why people always try to understand this. Why would you step into somebody's life just to destroy that life? Why? It doesn't make any sense. Honestly, it doesn't make any. I don't know what sense I want to use to quantify it. You fell in love with somebody, and the next thing is that the life is being destroyed. How How do you match it up? Just because you did not heal. You did not heal from your own trauma, and you refuse to heal. Now your own parents' mistakes is rubbing on somebody else's life. So as long as you say, okay, I want to marry, please heal. Be intentional about your healing. Read self-help books. Get a coach. Get a mentor. Get a therapist. Heal by all means. And this healing journey is not a one-day thing. It's a continuous thing. It's continuous. But the beauty about healing is that you have peace.
And the more you heal, the better you get.
The better you get. You have this peace, unexplainable peace within you when you are healing. And then you can grow faster. You see results. Results about life is not only money. It's important. That affluence is very important. I no debate. Honestly, by all means, be prosper financially. But beyond that, have peace of mind. And healing will bring you...
Money can't buy peace.
No, it can't buy it.
Healing will. Now, where's the place of God factor as we wrap up because of our time?
Wow, the place of God factor is that whatever you do in your life, God is the origin. For those that are Christian, the Bible told us that when God was going to make him, he said, let us make man in our own image, after our own likeness, which means we are God's image. We are carrying God in us. And not only that, when he finished molding that being, that physical being, he puts his breath inside him. So you can't take God out of your life. It should be the alpha and the omega of your life. And you now involve God, it makes life easier. It makes your healing easier. Then it's no longer, it makes parenting easier. It makes things easier. It's not as if because you are not born again and not a Christian, no, it should not be a roller coaster. You will still
have to be intentional. And then God is, having God in it is even part of the intentionality.
Yes. And that's for Christian couples who say, God told me to marry this person. Even when God told you, God said, oh, Patricia, this is your husband. You had it so clear. You still have to work at your marriage. God will not come and leave your home for you. God will not come and do the physical parenting. Beings, apart from even when it was so clear, as in 1 million prophet told you that this is your husband, you have to work on yourself and you have to work on your marriage. Good marriages don't just happen. It is the people in it that make it work.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Patricia Abokede, for coming again today.
Thank you so much.
On Talking Moms. We've dissected effective parenting on Talking Moms today, and we've been able to see that intentionality is what it takes to parent effectively. It's not about, being indifferent, being too permissive, or being very harsh. It's about being intentional about, let's communicate openly. Let's reason together. Let's do it this way. Let's be intentional about raising them. Of course, talk about self-help book the other time. If you're not sure of something, you can even do researches about parenting. So how do I handle these and all? No, don't let's always carry how we've been raised into how we raise our own children too, because the way we were raised may not be the healthiest way to raise our parents. So we appreciate very much for joining us on Talking Moms today.
Thank you for having me.
And we do hope that
thank you to you.
You'll be here.
All
right, that's all we're able to take on Talking Moms today on the Amazon World FM. It's been a wonderful time hosting Mrs. Patricia Abokede, parenting coach on Talking Moms today. Next week, by God's grace, we'll be here. We have the Mom Squad here, bringing to you another interesting topic.
Thank you for joining.
Talking Moms. Till then, I say be good, and moms, do take care of